my part of my advocacy, where we are coming from, why we have this problem. Of course, I will present to you why. So that is perspective na ako nigahatag inyo, yung bibigay ko sa inyo, may bias doon sa engineering component. So it's not environmental activism, it's not environmental protectionism, it's more of environmental engineering. So the question a while ago, how can we balance development and impact to the environment? So that perspective aspect. So that could give you also some cues later on when you ask about the interventions of the government and why some of the intervention of the government is failing. So in the first slide, I would like to present to you how engineers think in addressing the problem and why the engineering solutions implemented today are not working. Right? Then I have conducted a short survey. I was able to encourage about 73 participants to give me an idea what are their perspectives. The local perspectives in Region 8 about climate change and what they think about it, what they can do, and what the government is doing, and the signals, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's start with this one. The engineering, science, and technology-based problem-solving process. Para maintindihan nyo saan ako nanggagaling. So when you talk about engineering solutions, may proseso dapat siya. May sinusunod na hierarchy of actions para at the end of the day, the problem is addressed. Mind you, in the early part of engineering practice, tinatawag si engineer as masters of the laws of nature. So si engineer ay masters of the laws of nature. So dapat naiintindihan niya ang environment para yung action niya is along or is attuned to the environment para hindi siya mag-go against or instead mag-drive ko baga. No? So if we're going to look into the problem-solving process, nagsisimula sa anong problema? Bakit may baha? And then, ini-studyhan siya, saan ang gagaling baha? Bakit may baha? So it's root cause identifying the problem. And then, kaya nga kailangan ng technical study. Technical study. So when you visit later on, saan yung technical study nyo? Bakit nagkaroon kayo ng causeway? Anong basis ng causeway project mo? Saan nang gagaling yan? So that's the technical study, the background research. Kasi may ina-address ka na problema. And then, from there, mag-brainstorm ka, mag-evaluate ka, maghahanap ka ng mga options. Option 1, 2, 3, 4. Kasi nga kailangan ng development, right? Walang development na walang impact. Palaging may impact. The purpose of having several options, supposedly, is para makakita ka saan dun sa options ang may lesser impact. At kung yung impact ba yun ay manageable. Okay? So, you have there, develop and prototype solution. Prototype solution muna. Meaning, ini-studyhan in depth what will be the effect of such intervention. And then, tinitesting. So, sa engineering, hindi mo naman pwedeng i-testing actual siya. So, ginagawa dito, simulation. Sa ngayong panahon, na mayroon tayong maraming computer simulation, kayang-kayang masimulate kung anong effect ng isang intervention. So, maybe you can ask that later on sa visit natin. Mayroon pa kayong simulation? What would be the effect of such project into the environment, for example? Okay? And then, saka ka pala mag-i-implement ng proyekto. And when you implement the project, naka-base ka sa mga presumption, assumption, estimates. Kasi nga, forecast yun eh. Diba? So, si engineer kasi, yung nakikita niya sa katapusan. Paano siya pupunta from now to that end is an engineering process. It's based on assumptions, data, projection, simulation. So pag ginagawa na siya, yung mga initial assumption niya, based sa estimates, based sa calculation, baka hindi nangyayari. Kasi naka-base ka sa theory, naka-base ka sa science. Pero pag ini-implement mo na siya, supposedly, meron siyang changing process. Hindi siya, yun ang nakasulat, yun na dapat siya. Si engineer, nag-i-evolve yung solution niya na may iterative. Pabalik-balik siya hanggang makita niya yung perfect na solution. And mind you, these better solutions have been implemented in other parts of the world. Si Pilipinas, huli tayo eh. So yung loop na to, hindi pa natin yan magawa. Kasi palagi tayong palpak. Pero abroad, kanina mga example sa Europe, no? Singapore, etc., etc., they have gone through this process of perfecting the system. And they're supposed to be the models of development para hindi na dapat ma-repeat yung problem na na-experience natin. Because we do not have money. Why not capture and learn from those who were successful in the process? In the Philippines, marami tayo nun. Mga policies, mga laws of the government to do it. We have, for example, the EIA process. Environmental Impact Assessment para mabigyan ka ng Environmental Compliance Certificate. Ang intention niya, ganun din. Makita natin, pag may project ka, anong problema? Kaya bang solusyonan yun? Para yung problema, maliit ang impact or walang impact. So may project ka na in-implement, may problem, may makre-create ka na problema doon. Pero anong gagawin mo as science practitioner, as an engineer for example, para yung impact na yun lumiit? That's the intention of environmental impact assessment. Pero bakit mayroong mga problema? May EIA, may ECC na sila eh. May EIA sila eh. Bakit may problema? Sabi ko nga, yung problema based doon sa EIA may be based on assumptions, presumptions, and so on and so forth. Pero dapat continuing yung activity. Kung may problema, anong solution? May problema, anong solution? Hindi siya mag-i-end. Dapat palagi siyang may gagawin. Pero yung major problems, hindi dapat nandun. Minor problems yun. Hindi pwedeng hindi lumabas ang major issue sa EIA. Dapat minor lang ang lalabas ng mga problem doon para doable yun. Kasi kung hindi siya minor, isa lang ibig sabihin nun. Hindi maganda yung EIA process mo. Hindi maganda yung engineering analysis mo. Hindi maganda yung research, yung design mo. No? So, saka ka pa lang dapat bibigyan ng ECC kung nakita na sa environmental impact assessment mo yung problema at yung initiatives na gagawin mo para ma-avoid mong problema or ma-minimize mong impact ng problema. So, ibig sabihin, kung may mga ECC sila, nakita ni DENR na yung mga intervention na pinopropose mo para ma-avoid mo yung impact na malaki, ay nandun. Pero kung nakikita natin may problema sa site, ibig sabihin may problema sa process. Again, babalik tayo dito sa engineering process. Kasi dito sa environmental impact assessment, nandito yun. Naka-design. Bakit sa Pilipinas, may mga EIA, may mga ACC, pero the problem persists? May ganun ba sa ibang country? Hindi siya EIA. Engineering Solution Problem Solving Process pa rin yun. I don't know their certification. But it seems it's working better in their countries. Okay? So, I have been doing researches along environment, along civil engineering. So, what I'm going to share to you is based on a decade of researches in the local setting. Okay? So, let's proceed to the climate change perspective. Kasi nga, yung intention natin ngayon, di ba, mag-formulate ng stories, mag-publish ng reports, yung intention is not just to critique, but to inform the public, and perhaps to influence decision making. Right? So, tinanong ko muna yung mga, at yung response ng general public will be dependent on the level of their understanding as well. No? So, nagtanong ako, nagkandak ako ng survey. When I was invited and then look into the requested outline, may portion doon na ano ba yung perspectives ng community. So, I did a short survey and I was able to encourage 74 individuals in the region. Okay? So, ito yung profile nila. Okay? So, tinanong ko din sila ano yung ginagawa nila or gagawin nila to help address climate change in their own way, and then what is the government doing or what they should be doing, and they have these responses. But I will expound on that. In my analysis, lumalabas na marami naman ang informed. Partially lang ng iba, moderately informed ang iba. At well-informed, mayroon, no? So, malalaki yung score nila doon sa test na ginawa ko for them. Pero, I've seen a clear misconception, no? Like for example, on the aspect of what should be done, no? And what is being doing, no? So, even highly knowledgeable participant dito, may mga mali din silang perspective, no? So, there's a blur in the lines between different climate actions. So, ibig sabihin, kahit si professional or si individual na parang well-informed siya, malaki yung score niya, mayroon siyang mga medyo hindi tama or tugmang pag-iisip about how climate change should be addressed. So, knowledgeable participants underestimates the role of cities in climate change response. And that's where I am trying to push a lot, you know, in this area. And I will be discussing that as well later on. Okay, knowledge participants, moderately informed group have confusion between adaptation and recovery mitigation strategies. Ano ba yung dapat natin paghandaan? It was emphasized kanina, dapat maghanda tayo sa eventuality na yung problema ni climate change dadating talaga, yung worst case scenario. Pero the other thing is, wala ba tayong gagawin doon sa aspeto naman na mag-prevent sa kanya from happening, no? So that's another area. The moderately informed group naman exhibits gap on cause and effect. Ano yung problema, anong ginagawa, at anong resulta. And then partially informed group naman, may misconception sila dun sa fundamental misunderstanding of causes and response as well. Ano ba yung tama doon sa pinaplano nilang action? Okay? So, tree planting, reforestation, ito yung palagi nating naririnig kasi. No? Pero I will have a different perspective on that as well. No? And then reduce, reuse, energy conservation, proper waste disposal, according yun sa mga participants. No? Water conservation, participation in community programs. So, marami silang alam. No? At ginagawa din nila. No? Pero ano yung not quite right in terms of their responses? Yun, too generic. Gusto kong tumulong sa environment. Pero pag tinanong mo siya, paano, hindi na niya ma-elaborate. May intention siya to help. And then, ito, why I'll really emphasize that. In the previous discussion, that's a primary activity as well. Tree planting. No? Pero yung problema sa tree planting, tumutubo ba siya? Appropriate ba siya doon sa location? Saan mo ba siya tinatanim? Basta ka lang ba magtanim? No, etc. These are aspects na hindi klaro even sa local planning area activities sa mga LGU. O magte-tree planting tayo. Saan? Bakit doon? Bakit hindi dito? Right? So it's lacking in the activity. Misplaced priorities, few action focused on cleaning surroundings, and addressing only the symptoms. Ano yung nakikita? Yung solution kagad. Example, flood. Pag sinasabing may flood sa community, unang pumapasok sa isip ng local government unit is declogging of canals, increase the size of canals, etc., etc. It does not go beyond the root cause why there is flooding. No? Then, ito yung pinaka gusto kong i-emphasize sa discussion. Lack of focus on systemic change. Bakit sa ibang country, it's working? Bakit sa Singapore, it's working? No? Bakit walang ganito sa atin? Pag ibang leader, ibang action. Pag ibang tinanong mo, iba yung action. Pag pinagsama-sama nyo ang ginawa nila, hindi siya nag-work harmoniously. Minsan pa nga, contradicting each other, worsening the problem they are trying to address. Diba? Kanina sabi, may ginawa silang solution. Pero paano pag pumasok yung tubig? Paano ko ilalabas yung tubig from one side to another side? Mind you, for example, DPWH. Si DPWH may hierarchy siya. National, regional, district. Pag in-implement ni district, hindi gagalaw si region. In the same manner, si national. Papasok na lang siya kung may problema. So, the preventive aspect in the problem-solving process, wala siya doon. In Katbalogan, for example, may mga taga-Katbalogan dito. Si DPWH National, may flood control project siya. Si District, may flood control project siya. Si Province, mayroon. Si City, mayroon. Ano mga project yon? Drainage system, drainage canal, etc., etc. And they are doing it on their own. So, punta ka sa Katbalogan at other areas in the Philippines. Example, in my place, mayroon kang maraming drainage canal magkatabi. Hindi nag-uusap yung mga kanal na yun. Ibig sabihin, may kanal si City, may kanal si District, may kanal si DPWH.
Kanya-kanyang kita.
Siguro. Low integration of adaptation measures. This is a conflict between localization and national implementation of projects. Kasi local project yun, wala kaming pakialam yun. Tapos, pag nagko-communicate si national sa local, etc., maraming proseso. So, para ma-avoid yung proseso na yun, sige, gawa na lang tayo ng sa atin. And the intervention are not cohesive. Okay? Ano yung mga recommended response? Stricter environment. This is ranked according to priority. Take a look. This is supposed to be our initiative as journalists.
Yeah, public awareness.
Pero this, I will have to qualify this. Because information alone without strong implementation is useless. Kung si government mag-educate about doing this, doing that, and so on, pero hindi ko nakikita sa ginagawa mo, hindi siya mag-trigger ng action from the general public. Trust in the government is crucial, and that is Singapore. Why Singapore ranked first in many aspects of climate change response is because people and the general public, people from Singapore and outside of Singapore, trust the government. Stricter environmental laws and enforcement. How many of the local government unit actually implements their policies? Magaganda yung polisiya. May mga ordinances. Tanungin mo, na-implement ba yun? Marami silang plans and programs. Like you have drainage systems, tree planting activities, pero nag-work ba yun? Illegal cutting, bawal to throw garbage and so on and so forth. Pero ginagawa pa nila yun. Example, in my case, in one of my studies all over the Philippines, tiningnan ko yung National Building Code. Especially sa water kasi yung focus ko. And mayroon doon 1970s pa na policy sa water code of the Philippines. Sabi, dapat yung stormwater at wastewater hindi magsasama. Walang wastewater na pupunta sa drainage canal ng stormwater na hindi na-treat. But visit your canals. Wala tayong separation. Nagkukumbine. Right? I will expound on that later on. Strict pollution control, waste management system, and so on and so forth. So tree planting, nandito na sa number 6. I will give you an emphasis on that aspect later on as well. So in terms of urgency, you have this high and low in terms of urgency and in terms of impact. So that means you have there, in terms of impact, malaki to, no? And then, stricter laws, high, tas low yung impact, immediate impact. Ito yung impact because of the sequestration. So, based doon sa mga responses nila. No? So, in terms of those responses, ito yung qualification niya. Now, ito yung result ng part of data doon sa research na ginawa, simple survey na ginawa. So you have the knowledge level by age group, knowledge level by climate change training attendance. So kahit marami na siyang inattendan na training, no? At kahit anong edad siya, may problema. Data suggests that information or misinformation is relatively evenly distributed. So hindi ibig sabihin na nag-attend na siya ng mga conferences or seminar na kumplito yung pagkaintindi niya about climate change. Hindi din dahil matanda na siya ay mas marunong na siya. Ibig sabihin, the misinformation and also the information is distributed. Na nagre-require na dapat lahat ina-address. I mean, dapat lahat binibigyan ng information na tama. And efforts to improve climate change literacy should target all sector. So walang stand out in terms of profile ng participant. Isibuda kung ano siya, engineer ba siya, professional ba siya o hindi, no? Kahit ano, bata ba siya o matanda pa siya, mayroon distribution ng idea. Ibig sabihin hindi significantly different bawat isang grupo. Okay, let's look into local climate signals. Nahirapan ako dito sa aspeto na to, no, because the data available is limited. No? So I look into literature and try to extract information for region A. Okay, in terms of temperature, no? So for July 2025, makikita natin, no, way above average yung temperature niya sa region A. Sa July yun. O sa DOST na website, sa Pag-asa specifically, meron silang every month presentation of the anomaly in the temperature. No? So ito naman, yung July average monthly mean temperature. So makikita natin na this part of the region will have that range of 27 to 30. Okay? Pero in earlier part, medyo marami siyang peak. Not necessarily dahil dito, is because isa siya sa mga area na mayroong monitoring instrument. So, let's try to look into temperature, Catbalogan, Borongan, Katarman, Giwan, Maasin, and Tacloban. And the average. So, the highest temperature you will see there na above siya sa average. Of course, the average would be somewhere in here. So, most of the time, mataas siya. So, that's extreme temperature part sa region A. Okay? So, ito naman is the average for a long period. I think for 50 years average. from January to December. Ibig sabihin, yung temperature for the last 50 years, ito yung labasan. So if you are going to look into average per se, so kung anong taas niya dito, so ibig sabihin, you have that as an extreme. Then let's try to look into rainfall. So this is normal, 1991 to 2020. So how many years is that? 30 years, right? So 30 years na normal. Nakita natin dito yung ulan niya supposedly. But look at here, this is for July. July. The percent difference here, so this part here, the southern summer part, is very below normal. Walang ulan masyado. So you're questioning bakit walang masyadong tubig lately? Most likely this explains. Because this is way below normal. There have been in the past, baliktad naman ito. Way above normal naman dito. But for July, and I think earlier June, July, I was not able to capture June. For July, malaki yung problema niya. So masyado siyang maliit yung ulan during that period. So looking into the longer average, so makikita natin may time na masyado siyang marami yung ulan. May time naman na medyo lower siya than the average. Okay? So hindi siya permanente. Nag-iiba-iba siya, depende din sa location. So ano yung pinakamataas na mga scores dito sa December, for example? No? So you have here D1 and Kataman. You are extremes sa labas. Mas well. Okay, by the way, bakit importante yung temperature at saka rain? At dapat doon din yung focus ng intervention. Okay? Paano kaya natin ma-address yung epekto ng mataas na temperature at yung epekto ng mataas na ulan or kulang sa ulan? Okay lang sana sa temperature, no? Mabawasan yung temperature. Pero mabawasan ang ulan, malaki din yung effect. Pag lumagpas ka din sa capacity, malaki din ang effect. So, how will you manage these two contradicting impact of having more water or having less water? So, tingnan natin yung annual projected change under a medium range emission scenario for temperature. I think this is a World Bank study, if I'm not mistaken. So you have here, so take a look, for a projected na increase sa 2050. So masyado siyang malaki. That is, if you are not going to be successful in everything that we do for the climate. Look here as well. So this area here, no? So mas marami. I think this part here would be the Western Samar that includes Catbalogan, and also part of Tacloban area here. So that means in 2050, if we are not going to be successful in addressing the root causes of climate change, we're going to receive a different scenario in the future. Worst case scenario. So yun ang sinasabi kanina. Anong gagawin natin pag nangyari yun? So are we just going to expect that in the future these things will happen and address them? Or are we going to look for ways that this will not happen? Kanina yung sinasabi ng net zero thing. So that makabawas tayo ng at least 1.5 degrees Celsius. At hindi tayo lumagpas sa 3 degrees Celsius because it will be a point of no return. Okay, I try to look into this information, no? About the ano ba to? Mga binababas. Okay. Typhoon, disasters typhoon naman siya, no? So yung in terms of strength, tingnan mo yung intensity of typhoons in the later part in the Philippines. So yung number of typhoons na mas malalakas have occurred in the later part. So parang dito ngayon din, pero yung frequency of those happen often, yung frequency mas dumami dito sa part na to. So the same, wala kasing data masyado doon sa earlier part of 19 from 2011 up, no? So wala masyadong data dito. So in terms of fatalities, depends naman dun sa region, it depends also yung kasama sa bagyo. Ano ba yung kasama sa bagyo? Yung ulan ba or hangin? No? Kasi ngayon kahit walang bagyo, malaki ng impact. So tubig pa lang, malaki ng impact. Noon, pag sinabing bagyo, yung kinakatakutan masyado is yung hangin. Of course, may kasama din na tubig. Pero ngayon, kahit walang bagyo, yung amount of water causes havoc sa community. No? So, malaki yung effect nun. So, you have temperature, you have rainfall or water, and of course, typhoon. At paano sila nagko-combine? Okay. So let's try to look into local agency. Most of the local agency or group initiatives or activities are defined in the policies and the laws of the country. Now, sila yung nagsasabi itong gawin nyo to, etc., etc. Ano yung gagawin? Ito. And then even the prioritization, it is laid down by the government. Pero yung problema again is nakabase sa lista. Like kanina yung in-emphasize ko, how to address it systematically para hindi nasasayang kung ano ba yung ginagawa. Nag-tree planting ka, anong epekto? Na-monitor mo ba? Nagawa ka ng flood control project, anong epekto? Nakakontrol ba siya ng flood? No? So, walang ganun sa mga intervention na alam kong ginagawa. Okay? So, like for example, common, tingnan mo, that's local climate change action. It's a mandated activity. No? So, sa planning, halos lahat ng LGU ay directed to come up with local climate change action plan. Kaya, ibig sabihin, may ginagawa sila. And most of the projects ina-associate sa climate response. Gagawa ng tulay para mapuntuhan siya using the fund for climate change response, ginagawa na sa sustainable road, blah blah blah. No? Mga ganon. Binabago yung title, ini-enhance lang yung description, then you can use the fund. So, ganong level lang. So, ginagawa ko ngayon, sa next year, may gagawin na kung anong connection ng ginawa mo ngayon sa ginawa mo last year. Is it a continuing activity na may tinatarget ka na mangyayari at the end? Or yung ginawa mo ngayon, gagawin mo na naman ulit next time kasi nasira na siya.
Short-sighted.
Yeah. Basically, no? Symptoms yung inaatake. Hindi siya systemic na solution. Okay. Still, these are examples of projects. No, I tried to scan the internet of what are the projects being implemented. I'm not sure if these are all correct kasi some of this information was captured from Facebook posting of local government. Mind you, isa pa rin doon sa information gap. Halos, I think more than 50% of local government unit walang website. Mayroon sila mga Facebook pages.
Facebook pages lang.
Pero problema sa Facebook pages, you cannot organize the information. At dahil Facebook page lang siya, pwede siyang makopya. Na pwede ako mag-create ng Facebook page about the local government. At mayroon na kami misinformation. Okay? So, posible yun. Kasi kahit sino pwede gumawa eh. Walang mga websites. And I actually challenged even Catbalogan City and the province of Samar, for example, bakit wala sila doon? And they are good governance awardee. This is supposed to be part of transparency. So, halos lahat ng mga... When I was doing my research, yun ang initial step ko. To revisit anong ginagawa ng mga local government units. The past, the dissertation na ginawa ko. Yun ang initial ko na ginawa. And I visited all local government unit in the Philippines looking for the websites. Pero hindi ko mahanap. More than 50% walang website. Kung may website man, Jurassic ang content. Ibig sabihin hindi na-update. May Facebook din, pag nagpunta ka sa Facebook nila, ang daming Facebook pages, hindi mo na alam kung ano yung tama. Facebook page ng mayor pa yung unang mayor, nagsunod-sunod. So, hindi mo na alam saan dito yung active. So, para kung mabalidate kung sinong active, binibisita mo muna yung election, latest na election, sino bang nanalo dito, tapos tinitingnan ko doon sa information. Ang hirap. So, transparency, no? Information dissemination of initiatives of local government unit, missing yun. And mind you, ang dami doon, awardee ng SGLG. Paano kayo silang awardan? Good, si Catbalogan meron na. No, i-challenge ko si province, wala pa, gagawin pa lang. Or on progress. Pero bakit ka na-awardan?
Kasi documents lang naman yan.
Yun na. Hindi, document pero binavalidate supposedly.
There's no validation actually.
Or validation, validation daw.
Daw lang.
Okay. Pero that's clear. No? Malaking question yun, ano? Kasi ako na in the academy and doing researches about policies, about intervention. Ito yung hinahanap ko na information. Hindi ko mahanap-hanap. At mahirap ka kumuha ng information from them.
Baka tinatago, sir.
That is another thing.
Another thing.
Pero hindi pwedeng itago kung SGLG awardee ka, hindi pwede. Right? So, good for Catbalogan City, nandun na lahat ng mga plans. I'm very happy for that kasi marami na rin akong pag-aaralan. Sige. Okay, ano ba yung mga climate change related? Bakit ko ito isinama? Kasi sa Pilipinas, marami siyang policy. Kung babasahin mo yung mga nakasulat doon, ang ganda. Pero kung ginagawa siya, iba na yun. Okay? So, madami yan. Sa field ko, for example, sa water, inistudihan ko din yun lahat. At malulula ka sa contradicting policies. Hindi na nga na-implement, nagkukontra-kontra pa yung mga polisiya. At anong nangyayari? Ang sinusunod doon sila kumakapig sa pinakamadali. Okay? So, marami. Hindi ko na nga naubos yun eh. At hindi ko naman binasa lahat. No? So, I just read those that pertains my work. And local policies. Philippine Development Plan. Sa Philippine Development Plan, may component doon na nakafocus sa accelerate climate action and strengthen disaster resilience. These are the government plans. At mayroon din siyang kaakibat na plano sa region. Nandito pa ba siya? Sayang. Kasi mayroon akong critic sa Regional Development Council. Okay? So take note, accelerate climate action. I once was part of a group na nag-look into this as well, no? And I also attended a planning process in the Regional Development Council. And doon din sa observation ko, nakatemplate yung mga action. Tapos yung mga targets ay nahihirapan silang i-identify. Sabi ko, bakit hindi nyo iutos yan sa mga higher education institution sa Region 8 na gawin yun. Pag-istadihan yun para malaman natin ano ba yung status ng mga indicators na yun at ano yung gagawin. Ano yung status mo at yun ang imong-monitor. Kasi doon sa planning na yun, exactly the same, no? Sa paggawa ng Regional Development Council Plan, nakaangkla doon sa template na yon. Nakaangka sa template na yon. Hindi siya nakaangkla sa realidad ng community. Kasi from Philippine Development Plan, cascaded sa regional level. So anong nakasulat doon, yun din ang gagawin nila. So it's not responsive sa problema locally. Not entirely. Of course, mayroon doon. Pero sa pag-analyze ko, hindi siya appropriate. So, sa Chapter 15, ito yung key outcome. Increase resilience of communities and institutions on climate change. Enhance ecosystem resilience. Ang ganda. Pero tingnan mo yung mga ginagawa. If it is actually addressing that. Enable transition to low carbon economy. Ganda nga yun. And then the fourth pillar, strengthen governance. Ito yung pinakagusto kong aspeto. Because Singapore is not Singapore without this thing. Kahit anong gawin natin dito, kahit anong pag-usapan natin dito, if this is not present, the trust of people to government, walang mangyayari sa kahit anong ginagawa natin. Why is there slow take from the community doon sa mga proyekto ni government? Kasi si community, yung understanding niya, for compliance lang yan. Gagawin nila yan. Okay, tree planting. After picture-picture, tapos kung tutubo yan, it's a different story. Gagawin ba ni local government? Gagawin ba ni community na alagaan ko yung tanim na yon kasi gusto ko siyang mabuhay? Kasi malaki yung mangyayari, malaki yung contribution niya sa climate change response? Wala. Bakit hindi gagawin ni community? Kasi para sa community, for compliance lang yung tree planting. So you have here, the Eastern Visayas Regional Development Plan. Anong nakasulat? With ecosystems that are crucial buffers but under pressure. Ecosystem degradation remains a critical concern. Then why you have the Causeway project. Then why you have the reclamation project. Then why you have cutting of slopes for development. Can you not see your comprehensive land use plan, how they were formulated, if it is anchored to that? Mind you, in the writing of comprehensive land use plan, mayroon din doon component of DRRCCA integration. Pero, i-analyze mo yung mga comprehensive land use plan. Problemado din yun. Okay, so base doon sa mga nakasulat sa mga plano ng gobyerno, si community may response naman. Gumagawa sila ng rainwater harvesting. Sa Katbalogan kasi nagkaroon ng problema sa water, yung water district namin, I think the same with Tacloban. So nagkaroon sila ng water rationing. These are symptoms solution, reactive solutions. Okay? Shift to drought-tolerant crops, barangay level communal water, and so on and so forth. So if you're going to look into the plans and programs of local government unit, they are addressing the symptoms only, not systemic, not strategic. Okay? Elevating homes, personal evacuation kits, community flood. So tingnan mo nga yung mga activities. Pag pinagsama-sama mo sila, hindi sila mag-produce ng impact na hinahabol natin. Hindi nga sila measure. Na ginawa ko, paano ko masasabi na yung ginawa ko is effective? Anong indicator of success ng mga ginagawa nila? May numbers ba doon? Pag nagtanim ako ng 1,000 seedlings, ilan doon ang tutubo? At dahil tumubo yun, magkanong carbon footprint ang na-absorb ko? Walang ganon sa mga plano.
Ilan ang mag-grow?
Yeah, ilan na mag-grow? Bakit hindi siya nag-grow? Kung magtanim ako ng hindi hiyang sa lugar na yon, anong mangyayari sa ecology sa lugar na yon? Marami tayong tinatanim na hindi para doon sa lugar na yon. Yun ang tinanim kasi yun lang ang available. No? So, walang ganung klaseng thinking of tree planting. Basta makapagtanim ako. Pero sa ecology, tanongin yung mga forester or mga forest ranger, hindi pwedeng magtanim ka na ng basta ano. Kasi baka ikamatay yun ng ibang species doon sa lugar na yun. Walang ganon. No? Kung mayroon man, ilan lang may ganong thinking sa mga tree planting activities. Basta tree planting, okay. Pero the science aspect of the approach is missing. So yun, why despite the laws and actions implemented, bakit hindi siya nag-work? Babalik tayo doon sa aspeto ng engineering and science approach to problem solving. Kung hindi siya nagpa-function, isa lang ibig sabihin nun, mali yung design. Mali yung approach. For example, bakit, sabi kanina about the causeway, initially ganun yung kalaki, and then later on, nagbago. Bakit nagbago? Kasi may problem. Diba? May nag-oppose, tapos saka pa lang sila nag-react. Anong opposition? Kasi the water circulation, ganito. And so, anong ginawa nila? Linagyan nila ng mas malaking bridge in between. Kasi before, causeway lang talaga siya. Tapos nung nag-ingay yung general public na makaka-apekto siya sa water quality ng bay at circulation ng tubig, okay, in-address nila yung concern ng community, linagyan nila ng bridge, about 350. Una muna sa 180 lang para siguro makadaan yung mga boat. Nung nag-ingay, naging 350 out of the 2.5 kilometer causeway. And so si people naman, kasi nga linagyan na siya ng ganon, okay na. Diba? Yun nga, anong tawag ng kanina? So, parang kinukonvince ko na si tao na okay na, address na yung problema. Pero as I said, show me the design. Show me the science and I will believe you. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, nagawa si causeway without the engineering design. Without the analysis. Bakit nangyari yun? Kasi insertion project lang siguro yun. I might be wrong. Pero the indicator suggests it could be. Bakit? In the regular budget process of the government, I was a planning officer before. Si SSU, for example, magpropose siya ng project. And I think 2 years before the project deliberation, nagplano na kami. Ginagawa na ng design, ginagawa na ng feasibility study, mga plans and so on. Kasi nga requirement nila, execution ready. So pagdating ng taon na pagdidibatihan yung mga proyekto namin, ready na kami sa mga plano, ready na kami sa mga design. Tapos, i-depend namin yun at several levels, including sa RDC. So, may analysis, may design. Kung makita natin sa analysis na hindi siya importante, malaki yung problema, etc., hindi siya papasa. Saka pupunta na siya sa national level, sa Congress, and saka pa lang siya masasama sa GAA. Ano problema sa insertion? Sa insertion, walang analysis. Title lang at fund. Yung design comes after the fund. So anong intention mo sa pondo mo? So for example, if I'm not wrong, 800 million initially, I might be wrong, based lang doon sa mga previous analysis ko, say Cosme for example. And then, nung nag-ingay, hindi pwede kasi nandyan ang pera, masasayang ibabalik sa gobyerno kung hindi magagamit. So the intention was to use, not to address the problem. Dahil may nag-ingay, change yung design. Nung ma-change ang design, lumobo yung project. So phase 1 na muna. So yung problema, the project was funded from an ill-advised concept. Wala sa idea kung ano magiging impact ng project na yun. Okay, let's look into the urban lens. Kanina sinasabihin natin bakit mayroon silang problema doon sa conception, anong role ng cities sa fight against climate change. Kasi nga 70% of global CO2 originates from the cities. Kung wala tayong gagawin sa city, magtanim man tayo ng sandamakmak na puno, pero hindi natin na-address yung gas emissions in cities. So marami yun, kahit yung kinakain natin, kahit yung binili natin, aircon ito. So, mayroon tayong naproduce na carbon footprint. So kung hindi natin mababago yung lifestyle na yun, then we continue to emit the greenhouse gas that causes climate change. So ibig sabihin, we have to look at how we live. So lifestyle change, ang laki nun eh. Pinupoint out natin si politician, etc., pero we do not look at us ourselves as contributor of this. Sa Pilipinas, kahit pwedeng lakalin, sasakay. So every decision na magsakay ka instead of walk is a contribution to the carbon footprint. So lahat ng ginagawa natin, kahit yung kinakain natin, is contributor to that. So can we look into that as well if we are trying to address the effect or the causes of climate change? So marami siyang problema. Maraming tao ang nabubuhay sa mga syudad, urban center. So concentrated doon sa mga cities ang problema. Urban areas concentrate climate risk. Kasi nga doon ang mga tao, doon din ang pinakamalaking risk na kailangang i-address. Cities are centers for governance. Andun yun ang gobyerno sa mga syudad. Okay? Cities influence national and global climate goals. In the Philippines, halos kalahati nasa syudad. Okay? Despite of this, climate actions are weak. Sinabi kanina about net zero. Ano ba yung net zero? Kasi nga, lahat ng ginagawa natin may contribution to climate change. So anong sinasabi? Huwag na tayong dumagdag. Kung may idadagdag tayong carbon footprint, dapat may babawasan tayo para pag net effect niya, zero siya. May dinagdag kang carbon footprint, dapat may gawin ka na mababawasan yung carbon footprint. So net effect niya, walang carbon emission. Okay? So sa lahat ng ginagawa natin, like for example sa cities, kung ang lahat ng energy na ginagamit natin ay hindi galing sa fossil fuel, ang laking mawawala ng carbon footprint. Kasi halos lahat ng ginagawa natin is energy dependent. Sa lahat ng ginagawa natin sa automation, sa computer, everything, kailangan ng energy. So kung malaki ang ating magagawa doon sa renewable energy, then good. Ibig sabihin, renewable energy muna before energy efficient things. Example, mayroon kang electric car. Ang problema sa electric car mo, gumagamit siya ng electricity na binubuhay ng coal. Di pa rin yun? No? So, nandun pa rin si carbon footprint. If you are conscious about that, then we know what to do. No? So, yun. Water. Gaano ba tayo wasteful ng water? So, here comes my field. Mayroon din tinatawag na net zero water building. Kasi nga, water is life, kailangan natin i-manage how we use water as well. No? Kasi nga, sa distribution pa lang ng water, sa treatment pa lang ng water, malaki na yung contribution niya. No? So, when we talk about water neutral building, the amount of alternative water used and water returned to the original water sources is equal to the building total water consumption. So, in effect, net zero siya. Or, kung hindi man natin net zero, minimal siya. Okay? So, this comes to this. In my study, cities mitigation adaptation. Focus tayo sa water. So for example, urbanization often leads to significant water management challenges, flooding, water scarcity, wastewater disposal, and water contamination. Mind you, si Philippines supposedly, mayroon siyang 6 times more available water than global average. So dapat wala tayong problema sa tubig. Pero bakit walang tubig sa Catbalogan, sa Tacloban, sa Manila, etc. etc. 6 times pala tayo may mas maraming tubig. It's because of contamination. And why there's contamination? Because of wastewater disposal. Okay? Paano to? May flooding ka, tapos may water scarcity. Ironic. So there's something wrong, right? So kung magkakaroon ka supposedly ng sustainable water management, then you'll be able to manage the problem of water and make use of it. Yun ang focus yun yung advocacy ko. When you plan a community, and you have that sustainability, the real sustainability in mind, hindi dapat naging problema ito. At pag na-address mo din yan, other problems like water scarcity will be addressed, like flooding will be addressed, and even the heat island effect of cities can also be affected. In my study in the Philippines, ito yung major issue. Wastewater disposal, water scarcity, and flooding. Paano yun? In 1970, nasa building code na. Quoted from Water Code of the Philippines. Paano i-manage si stormwater? Pero since 1970 up to today, we have been violating that basic law. Why? Because we are looking for solutions for water, but we have not been able to address the primary cause of the depletion or the unavailability of water for water supply and for flooding as well. So, pinag-aralan ko din yun, ano yung problema, ano yung solusyon. Well on that, ito yung gusto kong emphasize. Si Philippines, may mga magagandang policy. Pero yung mga polisiya niya, fragmented. Kanya-kanya. Si housing, mayroon siyang law nasa kanya. Si DPWH, mayroon siya sinusunod nasa kanya. Si local government unit, mayroon din siya sinusunod sa kanya. Pero hindi sila nag-uusap-usap. Look at the plans. Kada plano ng ahinsya may naka-anchorage siyang polisiya. Pero yung mga polisiya na yon, hindi siya tugma doon sa plano ni gobyerno. Nagkukontra. Inconsistent enforcement? Hindi lang inconsistent. Wala talaga. And public awareness. Very low. Actually, in my study, I was looking for engineering solution. Pero it brings me to the fact na hindi pala engineering yung problema. It's governance. Because one of my model, I studied Singapore water supply system and then the water solutions in Singapore. Mababasa mo siya na nagsimula siya noon pa man. And it is, if i-analyze mo yung sistema nila, bakit naging Singapore sa Singapore, naka-angkla siya sa governance. So, ibig sabihin, kahit anong ginagawa natin dito, if governance will not be trusted, if government will not be trusted by the people, walang mangyayari sa mga ginagawa natin. Mayroon tayong magagawa, pero hindi siya mag-address ang problema. The flood control projects should solve flood. pero hindi siya scope. The greening program should address a lot of climate change issue in the Philippines, but did it work? And I can name a lot of interventions of the government and anybody, but it's not going to where it is supposed to be going because we have fragmented policies, inconsistent enforcement, and the general public has different perspective on how to address these things. May ginawa naman. Sa kanya lang, kasalanan nila yun, hindi kasalanan namin. Kasalanan ni Congress yun, hindi kasalanan ni Senate. And so on and so forth. So nagtuturuan na sila. Walang general policy for the government. That's actually why my effort now, and I'm trying to call the attention of so many, is to come up with a harmonized water manual. Na lahat ng polisiya, DNR man yan, DPWH man yan, city man yan, or local government unit, yun lang ang titingnan. Hindi kagaya ngayon na kada gobyerno or kada opisina, meron silang kanya-kanyang policy. Yan, nababago. Unlike Singapore, it started way long and it is continuing. Yung ginawa nila noon is successive and iterative. The process, the engineering problem solving, it is implemented there. Ang sabi ko nga, ang gandang magtrabaho sa Singapore kasi respected si engineer doon. Dito sa Pilipinas, si politician ang nasusunod. Si engineer hindi na nagsasalita. As the engineers ng DPWH, bakit yun ang nagawa nila? They are not working as an engineer, they are working as a problem solver of the politicians. Binigyan ka ng pondo para sa causeway. Gawa ng maraan. Ma-implement yun. Basahin niyo yung environmental impact assessment, basahin niyo yung feasibility study. It was made, I don't know. Assumption ko lang, baka ako makasuhan. Most likely, it was made to suit for the demand. Feasibility study para maging feasible. Hindi siya feasibility study para makita yung problema at ma-address. Hindi siya environmental impact assessment. It's a IAA 4. Pero sigurado ako, no? Pag in-studyhan natin yung the science aspect of the project, makikita niyo yung problema. Okay, example of climate change responses. My effort, is the effort. Ito kasi yung advocacy ko ngayon. Ito yung ginagawa kong libro. And I submitted this to GetDev for funding. I don't know if I get this. I also am having this policy idea doon sa application ko sa Climate Change Commission. Mayroon akong, I applied for a program in AIM under the program of Disaster Resilience program ng AIM. And then partner siya ni Climate Change Commission. So, yung nag-aaral na akong maraming business. Pero I grabbed the opportunity to do another study kasi gusto kong makonect kay Climate Change Commission. No? So, pag na-approve ako, I have passed a certain level pero hindi pa siya full. No? So, pag nakapasok ako doon, then I will really push for this one under the Climate Change Commission para maging policy sa government. Kasi national yung nakikita kong problema eh. You're not going to intervene sa highest level of policy making kahit anong ginagawa natin sa baba. It's not going to address. Mayroon siyang magbabago na konti pero hindi siya significant. Okay? So, ito yung konsepto ko ng sustainable community na as pattern dun sa concept ng ABC Waters of Singapore or how Singapore did it. Pero, importante, itong government. Kung si government is like Singapore, na trust the science, that trust the engineers. Anong nakaganda dun sa Singapore? Kasi yung concept nila doon, kung sino yung marunong, yun ang pakikinggan. The experts has the say.
Hindi dito sa
No, yun ang sabi ko, kung yung ng local government unit babasahin paano ginawa si Singapore. Of course, may mga negative aspect ni Singapore being the authoritarian and all. Pero pag tinignan mo yung concept ng policy making nila, makikita mo kung gaano ka-intensive yung science and engineering in the process. Hindi siya political in a sense. Science-based solution siya. Ang nakaganda kay Singapore, nature-based solutions ay nandoon na. No? Ano ba yung policy na ito? Ito yung content niya. Doon sa nakita kong problema sa mga policies ng government, ito yung gusto kong ilagay dito sa libro na ito. No? Okay. Which addresses saan nanggaling yung motivation ko. Nanggaling yan kay Catbalogan City. Ay ang healing in Catbalogan City. After Yolanda, 2013, nakita ni Catbalogan City, problema yung coastal community, baka mag-storm surge, masasubmerge, and because of future sea level rise, kailangan si city i-elevate. It is a climate change response city, supposedly. And it was admired. Isa siya sa mga unang konsepto dito sa Pilipinas na i-propose. At maganda yung konsepto. Sa aspeto, sa engineering part ko, is ang problema niya, kulang sa engineering. Kulang siya sa science. The concept is good, but operationalization is missing. Okay? Ano siya? 440 hectares, 120 meters from sea level, runoff harvesting for water supply, renewable energy, bioclimatic, etc. Maganda ang konsepto. Pero paano gagawin siya yung challenge? Ito siya, yung magiging pond niya. Na yung water runoff niya dito, ikukolect siya. May pagka-Singapore. No, i-istorya natin mamaya. Pero nung tingnan ko yung polisiya ni government, at yun ang sinusunod ni Catbalogan City, ay hindi siya mag-produce ng tamang result, ng tamang direksyon. Climate change response siya eh. So tinignan ko yung water. Water lang. Of course, others aspect, marami pa yun. So sa water, pinag-aralan ko siya. Okay? Ito yung current water supply system ng Catbalogan City. Yun na sinasabi ko na science-based na approach. Tinitingnan mo ang contribution ng bawat ginagawa mo. So water lang to ha. Ito yung condition niya. Now, kung magiging sky city siya, may catchment reservoir ka, anong mangyari? At current lifestyle, walang pagbabago the way we do things. Instead na magiging solution siya, magiging contributor siya. Sa water pa lang yun. Ito yung sinasabi ko. May solution ka. Where is the science? Where is the engineering there? Para makikita natin kung tama ba yung assumption mo. So instead na makakatulong siya, no, for example, linagyan ko ng 5% option na in the future, yung nakasaad sa plano ang mangyayari. Or kung 25% ng nakasaad sa plano mangyayari. And ano yung problema niya? Magproproduce siya ng mas maraming carbon footprint just because of the water. Kasi madumi yung tubig. Kailangan mo i-treat. So the treatment will be chemical intensive. Kasi nasa baba yung tubig mo, ipapump out mo doon sa bukid. That's another problem. So ano dapat yung solution mo sa Sky City para hindi siya mag-contribute? Kasi yun naman siya eh, climate change response. Dapat lahat ng indicator tinitingnan. So paano ko siya tinignan? Umunta ako ng Singapore. Pinag-aralan ko yung sistema nila. At ang ganda. Malulula ka sa mga ideya nila. Ibig sabihin, hindi bago to. Maraming example all over the world. Hindi mo kailangan i-repeat. Hindi mo kailangan pag-aralan pa ng tudo-tudo. I-adapt mo lang. Of course, while adapting, mayroon kang changes para natin ma-address yung mga gaps along the way. And that's what you are going to visit yung isa. Because the RENSTIC technology, nakaangkla siya sa sa nature-based solution. May pagka-Singapore na component. So, ano ba yung nasa Singapore? The green infrastructure, the active spaces, beautiful, maganda talaga siya. Clean catchment, basin level stormwater, and so on and so forth. So makikita nyo yung kung pag titingnan nyo yung historical development ng solution niya, makikita nyo kung gaano kaganda. So that's what you're going to visit. Partly. May pagkaganon. Pero again, it might not be able to address the problem again because of the entirety of it. The water problem in Singapore was not addressed by water alone. Maraming component na nakapalibot dyan para maging successful yan. Kasi na-include yun, land use planning. Bakit si Singapore pataas yung mga building niya? Hindi siya paano? Hindi siya urban sprawl. No? May rason yun. Bakit ang dami nilang parks? Mas marami siyang parks doon kaysa anywhere in the Philippines. They are proud to say that more than 50% of their land area has green. Pero yung mga city natin, tingnan mo. Yung mga parks, imbis na parks are tinatawag na water sponge, ibig sabihin mag-absorb siya ng water. Tingnan mo yung mga parks nyo. They are paved. Saan yung konsepto doon? Your parks are lungs of the city. You have the trees, okay. But it should also be a water sponge. Ang problema, sa mga parks natin, covered na siya ng concrete. In Catbalogan, we have the Capitol Park, for example. Halos, more than 50% of that is already covered by concrete. Tapos sasabihin mo sustainable kayo. And look at also here. They are using paper block. The concept of paper block is for the water to seep into the ground. Pero tingnan mo paano ginagawa si paper block. Nakatungtong siya sa simento. Ano yun? So where's the engineering part of that? So they are addressing solution. They're putting solutions, pero they are not understanding how it works. You can look into this design as well in the RENSTEC. Kasi hindi sabihin na may swale ka, it's an approach to design. Hindi sabihin na mayroon kang trenches yun na yun. Hindi ibig sabihin na nagtanim ka ng puno yun na yun. Mayroon siyang contribution to the health of the community. Hindi siya pwedeng magtanim ka lang. Ito yung malaking wala sa atin. The science approach to problem solving. Ano yung LID? Example to. Sa Singapore, tawag nila ABC Waters. Sa Australia, tinatawag nila na Water Sensitive Urban Design. No? Sa China, you have water sponge. And so on and so forth. Maraming palang alam, pero yung konsepto ng nature-based solutions ay ganito. Flow control, management control ng tubig, or detention, yung na sinasabi sa Manila, yung walang flood, sa BGC, di ba? Mayroon silang tank sa baba, o catchment, no? Temporary to address, and mayroon din retention. Yung retention naman, hinuhold niya. Singapore mayroon nun. Ginagamit siya kasi pwedeng gamitin. Narinig niyo yung sinabi ni President BBM na gagamitin natin yung tubig ulan for water supply. That's happening in Singapore. That's Singapore. Yung runoff water sa Catbalogan Sky City na concept, yun. Yung ulan, ikukulit para gamiting water supply. Pero may science yun. Hindi pwedeng pagkukulit ka lang ng ulan. No? Kasi madumi siya. So ang treatment mo malaki. Para hindi siya lumaki, dapat i-manage mo yung stormwater. No? So may design yun. May engineering design yun. Yung isa is filtration. Gagamit ka ng mga halaman, mga puno, para yung tubig ma-filter. You can see that a lot in Singapore. Then infiltration, yung gamit ng tubig, ng mga halaman, yung mga damo, etc. Para yung maduming tubig ulan, i-absorb niya ng ground, sa baba ng ground, may magkukulek sa kanya. So you are treating the storm water, and then when you collect it, it's partly clean, para yung treatment requirement mo, mas mababa. Okay? Then you have the treatment and so on and so forth. So, nature-based solutions are a lot. It cannot solve everything, but it can solve a lot. No, maraming siyang epekto. Pag pumunta kayo ng Singapore, be conscious about what you see. Because it's a laboratory of how water can be managed. Look at this. What is this area here? This is where the Sphinx is located. So tingnan mo yung mga retention ponds nila. These are sources of the water. Tubig ulan yun. That when it rains, it goes to the pond, and this pond water will be collected for water supply. Ang tingnan mo nga yung normal na flow ng canals nila, ang linis. Because they are managing their runoff water pretty well. Magiging malabo lang siya kung yung ano na siya, storm na talaga siya. Pero normal na mga rain, tingnan mo yung kanal nila, parang ang linis. No? When I was observing the water management ng Singapore, malulula ka sa ganda at sa systemic na approach ng water system nila. Ito. This area here is a freshwater reservoir. It's a collection of runoff water. So pag umuulan, mas mababa ito kaysa sa dagat. Pinapababa talaga ito kaysa sa dagat. Para pag umulan dito, kahit anong lakas ng ulan, hindi siya babaha kasi yung collecting water pond niya dito is mababa. Tapos kung mataas na siya, you have the pumps to pump it out to the sea. Makikita mo ang engineering solutions to the problem. Ganon din yung pinakita kanina sa Netherlands. Diba? Yung wall nila. No? Pero of course, ang courage nila doon, they have money. Bakit may money sila? Tayo wala. Balik tayo sa governance. Again. Kasi kung efficient ang utilization ng fund natin, marami tayong perang magagamit para ma-address. Tingnan mo, ilang billions of pesos yung nagasto natin for flood control project na hindi tama yung pagkagawa. So if we have used them properly, then it could have solved a lot of our problem. May money tayo. Pwede tayong umutang. Gamitin nyo lang ng tama. Right? So the Causeway Project. So ito yung information niya. It's a 2.56 4-lane road embankment. Central, 180. 180 yung na-capture ko. Pero nung tingnan ko yung current plan, 350 na ngayon. Originally, 180. Maraming umalma kasi nga, hindi makakadaan dito. Tapos, imagine mo, yung area nito. So, magiging collector siya ng wastewater. Imagine mo, lahat ng tubig dito, pag umulan, di ba bukid to? Pag umulan siya, lahat ng tubig, runoff, pupunta siya dyan. Hindi maganda yung water treatment natin. Wastewater, nag-i-exit sa mga canals. Pag pumunta siya dito, anong mangyayari dito? Polluted. So kung walang tubig na papasok dito from the sea, for the tide change, paano lalabas yung tubig dito? Magiging silted, may eutrophication, lahat mamamatay dito. So, dahil maraming nag-ingay, binago siya. Linagyan siya, pinahaba niya, linagyan siya ng mga culvert. Pero will it be enough? That's you look in the design. Patingin ng engineering design. Patingin ng simulation nyo.
Wala.
So tinignan ko dito, nag-change na siya. Lumapak na. Tapos mayroon na siyang mga culvert, box culvert. Pero, will it be enough? Patingin ng design. Ako pag may concern ako sa project, can I see the design? Can I see the simulation? Can I see the science in it? Kasi pwede mo ako ma-convince. Hindi ako totally ayaw ko ng development. Dapat lang mayroong numbers. Kasi nga nasa part ng engineering, lahat ng problema may solution. Tamang solution. Okay? So anong problema? Destructive water exchange, water quality degradation, and sediment self-accumulation. So ito yung mga critical na problema na ewan ko kung nandun. Pero kung tama yung sinabi kanina, na it is a prelude to a reclamation, ay mas malala yun. Kasi papatayin mo na talaga siya. At mas malala yung mangyayari doon sa flooding issue. Katalugan may reclamation. Pero yung problema, sinabi ko, patingin ng design nyo, paano nyo i-address yung flood. Kasi wala pa si reclamation, binabahan na si Katalugan. Ano mangyayari kung may reclamation ka? Ito, kung tama yung projection niya na may reclamation, ay mas malala yun. So, ano pa? Yung problema, altered ecological pattern, flood drainage implication, and long-term risk. Meron siya. Gaano ka problemado kung ang circulation ng water is affected? Bakit yung dagat nabubuhay ang mga halaman at saka yung mga coral reefs doon? Kasi nga may constant replenishing of water. Tingnan mo saan maganda yung tubo ng mga coral doon sa lugar na maganda yung quality. Ganun din sa seagrasses, no? So sa buong mundo, yung tubig ay nagsisirculate. At yun ang rason bakit yung tubig ay maintain yung quality. Tingnan nyo yung aquarium nyo. Kung hindi nyo yan pinapa-ikot, mamamatay siya. Eutrophication tawag doon. So, ang intention mo, bakit hinihikop mo siya para magkaroon ng oxygen yung tubig. Yun din ang isang purpose ng water current. Kasi nga, ikot-ikot siya, dinidistribute niya yung oxygen component niya para mabuhay yung isda, yung marine organism. Pag wala yun, mamamatay siya. So I take a look at the causeway. Anong mangyayari dahil dito? So between this design nila and this supposedly should be the best design, tulay na lang siya. Huwag mo nang gawing causeway. Of course, mas mahal to. Pero you're addressing coastal degradation. Right? Kung itong gagawin mo, paano makaka-circulate yung tubig dito? Kahit yan is not sufficient for water circulation. Ang nakakatawa nito, for example, sa Catbalogan, may causeway connecting Catbalogan City to Buri Island where the airport is. Anong nangyari? Based sa analysis nila, yung quality sa isang side and quality sa isang side, magkaiba. At nagkaroon ng effect doon sa marine. Hindi siya free-flowing pa rin siya, free-flowing pa rin dito, kaso nga lang, mayroon kang causeway sa gitna. So, magkaiba yung quality sa isang side, sa isang side. Ito ay closed in. Doon sa Catbalogan, iba siya. Pero anong ginawa doon? Sinira si causeway, pinalitan ng tulay. Pero dito, ano ba? Government. Para hindi kayo consistent. Ginawa yon sa Catbalogan para makadaan yung tubig sa isang side to other side, mas maganda pa nga doon eh. Kasi nga, free flow sa isang side, free flow sa isang side. Ito dito, wala kang flow. Di ba? Makita mo yung consistency of decision making. Bakit doon, binago mo yung causeway, pero dito, clinose mo. Normal siya, from the waters here, gapasok yan dito, mag-create ng ganang movement at lalabas din yan. Depende sa time. Yun ang flashing. And that actually improves the quality of the water. Pero pag linagyan mo nito, paano na siya? Dito. So, magdidegrade ang quality dito. Yung sabi ko, nung airlay ko na nalaman na may causeway, sinabi ko, tulay. Tulay, kung yung intention mo is to cut the traffic time, dun, yun pa rin naman yung intention, di ba? Traffic time. Tapos dito, traffic time. Pero sabi nila, para sa storm surge, etc. So that's another thing. Okay? So you have that. No, yung problema. When we talk about anong problema dito sa closing it, the oxygen will be depleted, dissolve oxygen ang tubig. So mamamatay kung anumang organism noon. Anong importansya ng marine organism, especially seagrasses, in the fight of climate change? Kanina, trees lang ang nalalaman natin, dinidiscuss, mangroves, trees. Pero mind you, seagrasses, mas effective pala siya. Some estimates, hindi pa siya ganun ka-concrete, pero some estimates suggest that per unit area of seagrasses, meadows, can generate more oxygen than tropical rainforest. Ang laki nun. If that is true, no, initial estimation, the oxygen they release benefits marine life directly, supporting biodiversity. So dapat protected yung mga klaseng halaman sa dagat. In terms of carbon sequestration, seagrasses can sequester 35 times more faster or times faster. Unlike forest where carbon can be released if trees die, carbon in seagrasses sediments can remain trapped for centuries and millennia. So tingnan mo, ang ganda ng importansya ng seagrasses. Mamamatay lang dahil nawala ng circulation ng tubig. Or dahil i-reclaim mo. And that's it. Yun na, time na. So, the climate fight has long begun. Ginawa na natin may matagal na, pero hindi tayo na-progress. Kasi nga hindi systemic.
Because for rains, rainforest, what's that? Rain tech. Rain tech. Rain tech. Yun pala.
Sir, kasi kulang na tayo ng oras.